What's going on, guys? It is Winweave from Margaritaville Guild here, taking another look at the alpha client for Warlords of Draenor. In this video, we're going to take an overview look at the changes to the Enhancement Shaman spec. It's one of my favorite DPS specs to play. I was pretty excited about what they had in store for the Enhancement Shaman. It does feel very much the same. Not a whole lot is going on. A few minor switch out to swap this one ability for this ability, but as far as playstyle rotation, feels very, very similar to Mists of Pandaria. So we will go over some of the things, the pruning or abilities that have been removed, as well as a couple new abilities, and then the level 100 talents, of course. So some of the things that have been removed, we have Static Shock, which gave you a chance to shoot off one of your lightning orbs as damage, has been removed. Searing Flame, that had your fire totem increase the damage of Flame Tongue, Imbue, as well as your Lava Lash, increased damage there. That's been removed. Earth Shock has actually been removed. Shocking, I know. That's actually an elemental only ability currently, so just no biggie there. Just switched out Frost Shock for that ability. So if it's a somewhat long fight, I'm going to keep Fire or Flame Shock up on the target and then cast Frost Shock whenever everything else is on cooldown there. Chain Lightning has been removed, so you're going to be using for AoE your Fire Nova, obviously, still being spread by your Lava Lash. You've got Magma Totem, and Magma Totem is actually an an enhancement only ability now, so the other two specs don't have it. Chain Heal has also been removed, so no more topping the meters as an Enhancement Shaman. Wow, music got really loud there. So no more topping the meters in Enhancement Shaman from Chain Heal, and then Totemic Recall. Nobody really cares about that one, but that's also been removed. So I've got all of those as removals. One major change is your weapon imbues are no longer a thing. So I say they're no longer a thing, they're no longer a castable thing. How about that? They've been changed to a passive ability called Enhanced Weapon. So I've got that here. Enhanced Weapons change on your spec. So I'm Enhancement. It says, hey, it imbues your weapons with wind and fire. Probably sounds very familiar. So each one of your main-handed weapon attacks has a 20% chance of triggering 3 extra attacks, dealing 70% weapon damage. And each one of your offhand attacks has a chance to do an additional fire damage based on weapon speed. So we still got those abilities, just no more, I forgot to imbue my weapons, why can't I unleash elements, etc., etc., feel dumb. Move on. So no more of that, which I kind of like. Another change to an ability is Maelstrom no longer affects your Hex. So those of you who PvP, probably not very happy about this one. You're no longer going to have that insta Hex. Now Maelstrom still will work for other nature spells, healing spells, lightning, those types of things, but will no longer work for that Hex ability. And one other change is to your Shamanistic Rage. So Shamanistic Rage, first part is the same, reduces all damage taken by 30% for 15 seconds. You can still use that while you're stunned, but then they've removed the part where it reduces your mana cost of all of your abilities. Now, I'm not sure how they're going to fix this. I haven't had an issue yet. I still feel like I'm increasing in mana very quickly when I'm fighting things, but Mental Quickness has been taken out of the spellbook. First it was changed and it was removed, so I'm not sure what they're going to do there and how they're going to compensate. I wouldn't worry too much, because it does seem like I'm gaining mana very quickly and easily like I always would. So that's been changed. A couple new abilities. We now have a new ability called Haste Attunement, where we gain 5% more of the haste stat from all sources. So whether that be a buff or from gear, we gain additional haste. So that looks like that's going to be a stat that we're going to want to go after. We've talked about the enhancements or the imbues for weapons. So let's jump into the talents. So a couple changes to talents, nothing too major here. A few that I want to talk about though. There's some minor changes here and there, but Echo of Elements is a big change. So where this used to cause an additional attack of whatever you just cast, it now says that Echo of Elements causes your next Lava Lash, your Storm Strike, Frost Shock, or Fire Nova to not incur its cooldown. So keep in mind there, if you're reading that, not incur its cooldown doesn't mean it resets the cooldown. It basically means the next time you are able to cast that, it won't start a cooldown. So that's kind of cool. So if you're running around you trigger that ability, then you can cast Storm Strike. Typically is the one you're going to want to cast. Storm Strike twice in a row. You can deal a lot of damage very quickly. And then depending on your level 100 talent, you may also be using Lava Lash as the ability that you want to there. Ancestral Guidance, just want to mention this one's been scaled down a bit. Just 20% of the damage deal is healing, up to 3 nearby injured party or raid members there. Conductivity, so this one, when you're Lightning Bolt, Chain Lightning, Earth Shock, or Storm Strike, your healing restoration is increased. So, and still can't be increased by 40 seconds. So, remove some things there. Unleashed Fury empowers your Unleash elements. So, this is the ability we just talked about a minute ago. So, let's go in here. We've got Unleash Elements. So, it empowers this ability to where you take additional, or your target rather, takes additional damage from your Lightning Bolt by 30% for 10 seconds, and you gain additional multi-strike chance 5% for 8 seconds. So let's take a look at that. If you guys remember that, that's a new enhancement that you can get. So that multi-strike ability, I have 3.7 multi-strike, so basically it grants 2% chance to deliver extra attacks or heals for 30% of the normal value on each target. So change there to that ability. We've got Elemental Blast, basically same thing there, and then your Primer Elementalist will work roughly the same as well. However, this also now affects your Storm Elemental, a level 100 talent. So I'd love to be able to show these to you and not just talk about them. Blizzard actually currently taken away the ability to select those level 100 talents. I hear we're getting it back. I can probably make a video of those as far as visuals if you haven't already seen them once I get that back. But for right now, we'll just talk a little bit about them. So Elemental Fusion, your Lava Burst and your Lava Lash increase the damage of your next shock by 50%, stacking up to 2 times. So you're going to be using that for Flame Shock or Frost Shock. Remember, Earth Shock has been removed. So each time you cast Lava Lash, you're going to be dealing a little bit more damage, snapshotting that Flame Shock. Now this synergizes really well with Echo of Elements if you've chosen that as your level 60 talent, and the reason being, actually I can show you here. Let's see if I can proc this without, maybe. Come on. Okay, so now I've got this Echo of Elements proc here where I can cast something twice in a row. So I want to cast Lava Lash twice in a row. Oh, we're going to have a new target. Once, twice, and it procced again, so I could actually cast it the 3rd time. So I've cast that twice in a row, meaning that if I have this Elemental Fusion talent chosen, that immediately I would have a 100% chance to deal, or I would have a 100% increase to damage on my next shock. So being able to Echo of Elements, Lava Lash twice in a row very quickly, and then having a 100% increased damage shock, pretty good damage increase there. So I could see how those would synergize really well together. The Liquid Magma talent spawns off of your, so you have to have a fire totem active in order to cast it, and this will shoot out globs of magma in an AoE. So in 40-yard range, every half second it's going to shoot one of these things out for 10 seconds, and each glob of liquid deals fire damage to all enemies within 4 yards of where that glob lands. So pretty cool if you're in an AoE situation, especially for extended periods of time. If a boss or raid encounter has a lot of AoE situations throughout the fight, it's going to be great. Otherwise, it's going to be pretty terrible. You're going to want at least 2 or 3 targets for that to even be considered. So just shoots off from there. One thing to mention about that is you want to make sure that if you're using that talent, the level 100 talent, you want to remove the glyph for Glyph the Fire Elemental Totem. Reason being, you've got a 45-second cooldown on your Liquid Magma Totem, 30-second cooldown on the Fire Elemental, so it's just going to be kind of a weird time lapse there, so that may not work. Just to be something to be conscious about. Maybe on a particular fight you can line it up just right, but be aware of that. Storm Elemental Totem, this is the one that I like the most, and I don't think I liked it the most necessarily because it was the most powerful, but more because it was really fun to play around with. So this summons an air totem, so currently you can summon the earth elemental totem, the fire elemental totem, and now you've got the air elemental totem. Same thing, 6,000 health at the feet of the caster, and it calls forth this greater storm elemental to hurl gusts of wind at your enemies, and then those gusts of wind deal damage, and then do healing within 15 yards for 100% of that damage dealt. So pretty cool in and of itself, decently powerful. You've got that mix of healing and damage dealing. Now this does grant a few extra abilities from Primal Elementalist talent, the level 90 talent. So if you've chosen that and then also chosen this Storm Elemental Totem, it's going to give you 2 extra abilities. One of them is a speed increase called Eye of the Storm, and so it's going to be a small, what looks like the Eye of the Storm, air around the Storm Elemental Totem, so not around you, around the Elemental himself, and that's going to provide a increased movement speed buff to those in that circled area, so you can run around in a pretty good increase there. And then the other ability is the elemental is able to hurl a gust of wind at an individual target and knock them up into the air, so kind of like an interrupt stun, if you will. Knocks them up into the air and then immediately back down. It doesn't really hold them up in the air at all. So you get those 2 additional abilities with that Storm Elemental Totem. So that pretty much covers a lot of the changes. Like I said, nothing so major as far as playstyle or your rotation. Definitely some major changes into removing a lot of basic damaging abilities and things like that. You still feel really powerful to me. Definitely didn't have a problem questing through, going through the dungeons, keeping up on damage and whatnot. So I do still feel like they're powerful. I think that Blizzard needs to keep an eye on them to make sure that the removal of things like Static Shock and Searing Flames doesn't just put them way below where they currently are. So I did want to show one other thing, and that is just the changes to the what your Ghost Wolf and then what your Spirit Wolves look like. I kind of like it. Definitely look more realistic wolf there as I'm running around, and they'll have the Alliance versions here shortly. We'll give us access to those, so we'll be able to see if those are any different. So I've got that, and then my spirit or my feral spirits, big old giant, cool looking wolves there. So I really like that change in the graphics there. So I just feel pretty awesome running around like this. Although I feel like I should be the biggest wolf in this pack. You can go check out my friends. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like at the bottom. Check back for some more videos later on. I'll be posting all kinds of them over different classes and the environments that they make available to us, dungeons they make available to us. Again, this is Windweave with Margaritaville Guild. Thanks for watching, and I'll talk to you guys soon.